I drove an hour to see this limited release movie. The movie ended. I looked around and simply said, "What the was that?" Hello friends. I am Dr. Rorschach. I distinctly remember a day. I was watching Isle of Dogs and the previews began, and I saw a movie called Sorry to Bother You. The movie made me imagine a great comedy, me personally being able to relate to retail and the terrible experiences I've had in it, and the movie possibly having some social commentary in there, and I became immediately super excited for the film. I said to the person next to me, I can't wait to see that movie, and I patiently waited for the next couple of months for it. Reviews poured in, and they were all great, so I went to immediately go see this movie as soon as I could. This movie is the biggest troll in cinematic history, and the most insane movie I have ever seen. This movie is phenomenal, by the way, just by how different it was is what shocked me so much. This review is also going to be spoiler-free, but after I give my rating and everything, I want to talk spoilers, but I'll give a clear warning when that starts. Sorry to Bother You stars Lakeith Stanfield as Cassius Green. This movie follows Cassius as he struggles to find income to survive and provide for his girlfriend. Cassius becomes a telemarketer and quickly discovers using a white person voice during work will increase his sales significantly. We then follow as Cassius as he works his way up and decides whether money is worth going against his own moral code. Getting the simple stuff out of the way, the cast in this movie is phenomenal. Stanfield does a really good job in this lead as Cassius. You consistently see worry on his face, wondering how he will get through each scene of the movie, whether that's financially or him possibly being hurt in certain scenes, and that makes you believe in his character and want him to get through. He does a very good lead, and I hope he gets some recognition during award season later on. This movie also has a really cool cinematic style, like when Cassius calls someone for his job, his actual desk falls into their home, and while he's talking to them, kind of displaying the whole sorry to bother you, but I'm here to tell you about metaphor. It's really well done, and I really liked this style to the movie. So if you've seen the trailers for this movie, the first half of it is going to be everything you thought it would be. Nothing surprising, just standard stuff. Great comedy, it's fun, colorful, vibrant, and then the second half happens. The movie turns into Get Out, and it's out of nowhere, and it's just absolutely shocking. The movie becomes a social commentary on capitalism, slavery, and evil corporations even. Not saying I didn't enjoy these things, but it's the equivalent of going to Get Out thinking you're going to see a cute romance movie about an interracial couple. But honestly, I like to be surprised in movies. I think movies today show way too much in trailers, and usually by the last trailer being released, you can piece together what the whole movie is going to be. Looking at you, Jurassic World 2. My only real complaint about the movie is that the climax just kind of happens, and once it's over, you're like, oh, that just happened. I can't really say too much more about this movie without spoiling it. I think the trailer shows you everything they want you to know in order for you to get this shock value that this movie is delivering. Even at you knowing the shock value is going to happen, you're not going to see this coming. Sorry to Bother You is one of the most unique movies I have ever seen, and it's definitely one of my top movies of the year. It's definitely in my top 3 so far for this year. I'm sure it'll make a lot of people's top 10s for this year. The movie has a great lead, great comedy. It has very great scenes that doesn't have logical, more real life actions to it, but it still all works together and flows very well. Sorry to Bother You is a 9.5. I highly recommend this movie. It is a bit of a limited release. I, again, had to drive an hour to see this movie and go to a major city to see it, so most people I would say just wait till it's on streaming or digital and definitely see this movie as soon as you can. Okay, so spoilers past this point. If you do not want to be spoiled, please stop here. And if you even plan on seeing this movie, you need to see it without knowing the spoilers, so please stop right here. Okay, So, spoiler starting, Cassius works his way up the company through telemarketing and begins to find out what the company is really about. Cassius then becomes a power caller, a very high up form up on the magical second floor of his telemarketing job. And in this movie, power callers are selling human trafficking. In this movie, we have a very weird form of human trafficking that is voluntary, but you get a home and food, and you see commercials and advertisements throughout, but then you can see once you were in this, you were stuck working for these people for free, even if they are giving you home and food, and people are always, in the movie, are freaking out about this modern day form of human trafficking or slavery. Cassius begins to fight his own morals in this, but willingly does it because he really needs the money. After going to a party that the human trafficking business owner is having, he sits down with the owner of the business, played by Armie Hammer, and they begin to have a job meeting where Armie Hammer's character wants to offer Cassius a job. But before all this, Cassius insists that he needs to go to the bathroom and that it's very important. On his way to going to the bathroom, Cassius accidentally goes to the wrong door and finds horse people. Cassius freaks out, and the owner of the business then comes to him and explains that this is their experiment to make these people that they have basically enslaved take a drug that will make them into a horse-man hybrid that will make them work harder and rebel less. The owner then wants Cassius to become a horse person, to become a false prophet for them, but still keep them in line, sort of like a fake Martin Luther King, as Armie Hammer's character said it. This would prevent him from being overthrown by his horse people slaves. This movie is insane. Every single person walked out quiet, and we just looked at each other. Didn't say a word, just walked out quiet. This movie is definitely going to divide audiences, similar to Hereditary. Not saying I really feel like if you don't like this movie, I understand why, but I feel like you are going to love it or hate it. I laid in bed after this movie, and all I could think about was horse people. I laid in bed for hours just thinking about horse people being enslaved. This movie will mess your mind up. Anyways, that is all I have for today. I am Dr. Rorschach. Thank you for watching, friends, and have a great night.